så er vi tilbage. Jeg ser det vel ingen at streame. Jeg er ikke helt på toppen. Altså, humørmæssigt mener jeg, men jeg er ikke, du ved, så jeg er ikke så glad. Men ja, kan være penge derovre. Og det regner før. Det regner. Jeg gider ikke være venner med ham der. Også bro, han prøver bare at sælge mig noget. Jeg kan mærke det. Hej Mia, velkommen til. Halløj. Jeg er meget trist. Ikke så meget mere. Nogle gange så er man bare ikke glad. Og sådan er det. Der er ikke noget at gøre. Man må op på hesten igen. Det er det jeg siger. Følelser er bare en masse kemikalier. Jeg stoler ikke på følelser. Nå. Men der kommer lige bakkenblok.
Hey, goddag. Min var klub, fordi du skal have død. Hvad mener du? Hvad fanden mener du? Jeg troede, du var død. Hvad fanden mener du, mand? Du tror også, du var død. Bakke. Tag telefonen, ja, kaffe er fantastisk. Vi er på bakken igen. Det er ikke endnu en bakketur. Afsted. Afsted, pjuske! Oh shit. Kom. Au. Afsted, pjuske! Det er lige så tøser. Kæft, du er fuld, mand.
Det var bare clickbait, Mia. Vi var ikke sur på rumvæsen. Ching chonger.
Nu skal du høre historien om det her rum herinde. Om nastrummet. Der er en rotte. Den er dernede. Men i gamle dage, der kørte den frem. Og der... Corona! Corona! Der er Patrick!
Ikke noget mere, Patrick.
Sammen med Danmark-klubben.
Vi skal videre.
Ja. Jeg var slet ikke ved at vælge der.
Bukser også bare våde.
bakkens bedste is.
Bakkens bedste is.
Jeg har fået skovbær, personer mango og dyrehæv. Hvad har du fået?
Jeg har fået mint, bælgechokolade og argentinsk karamel.
Hvad har du fået?
Jeg har fået lidt over mørk chokolade, og så har jeg fået bananflød.
Og hvad så? Begge chokolade og også sådan noget. Og så noget jordbærchokolade og noget jordbær her. Jordbærdrøm. Ja, jordbærdrøm.
Jeg spiser også is sammen. Vi går lidt mere tilbage, så er du bedre end i frame. Ja, den var tilbage. Sådan der. Og nu må man se jer bedre.
Jeg smagte lige den af lemon der, den er god.
Er den god?
Ja.
Kold skål er bedre.
Lækker. 10 ud af 10.
10 ud af 10. 11 ud af 10.
9 ud af 10.
Hvad siger du?
9 ud af 10. Jeg kan ikke lige give noget 10 ud af 10. Fordi så er der ikke noget, der er bedre.
Det er der. Der er sikkert noget, der er bedre der.
Ja,
Det er det, jeg mener. 9 ud af 10, det er fucking godt. Jeg kan ikke finde noget, der er bedre end
hvad giver du?
det. For dig.
Hvad giver du?
12 ud af 10.
Øj.
I går på rumbasen, vi blev sure på. Ja. Det er da ret dumt.
Ja.
Jeg kan sjove musik på.
Gonna heal my addiction. Ham der, han er fucking nice. Jo, lidt mere.
Ja. Sig hej til YouTube.
Jeg har givet det mulighed, så det er fint.
Det er godt.
Jeg kan ikke huske det. Jeg har været på YouTube et par gange. Sejt!
Vi skal ikke på lykken.
På løbet og drage.
På lykken først.
Du får en over i dragen.
Nej, vi skal på lykken. Hvad så? Hvor vil det godt? Savner du en Asmus?
Det var dejligt.
Gå op til din kæreste. Tag et billede med kæresten.
Jeg går lige over til dig, så vi lige har til at sammen.
Asmus kæreste!
Du er en YouTube-stjerne.
Asmus er på nacho.
Jeg tror lige, jeg myter den der, fordi du sagde det der, det går ikke.
Hvor mest han får med en burger.
Burger med en bacon bayonet burger.
Og hvad skal jeg få en bøf?
En New York strip steak med kartoffelbrød, banæs og salt.
Jo ja. Jeg får en ekstra hotdog. Du skal spise.
Hej, rumvæsen.
vi er i vandet igen. Der var... Jeg er rumvæsen, jeg skal passe ikke på turen.
Jo, du er rumvæsen. Åh, shit, rumvæsen.
Jeg ville hele turen engang. Det var Asmus, der gjorde det.
Der lugter brudt.
Nej, vi træber af.
Hvorfor har du lukket sådan her overalt?
Ja. Det kan ikke være det hele tiden. Det må så bare. Hvad ved du?
Vi skal ikke se rumvæsen forrest.
Vi er super på ham.
Ja, vi gør.
Ja. Han er bare dopsvigt.
Ja, fuck ham. Fuck ham helt vildt.
Ja, han kan sove med kalve. Og Sigurd. Ja, og Sigurd. Det var så godt. Selv om, ja. Selv om, ja. Selv om, ja.
Åh, shit.
Team organized and moved the ball well. It's funny, in England, this guy was heavily disrespected, even though he was very good for Arsenal in his last season. While at Leverkusen, he showed that wasn't some sort of luck. In the Premier League, everyone acted like he was a hothead who couldn't do anything. At Leverkusen, he was in the Ballon d'Or nomination. Then you had two of the most important players for Alonso's system, Jeremy Frimpong and Alejandro Grimaldo. These guys were the wing-backs who played out wide and never stopped running. They attacked, they defended, and then Victor Boniface led the attack. He gave defenders a very hard time with his movement and finishing. Now that he's at Real Madrid, Alonso will bring with him everything that he's learned. His style of play is modern, it's exciting, and it's very smart. He knows how to develop young talent and build a team that works hard for each other. Based on the system he used at Leverkusen, I think there are many Madrid players who will thrive under him. Like I said before, at Leverkusen, Alonso gave Florian Wirtz a free role just behind the striker. And it worked wonders because Wirtz had the space to create, to dribble, and pick out clever passes. That's exactly the kind of role that Arda Güler could not play at Madrid. Güler loves playing in tight areas and making things happen. Under Alonso, he can finally get regular minutes and become the star that he was destined to be. Because at the start of his Real Madrid journey, he didn't get many chances. A combination of injuries and big names ahead of him meant it was hard for him to break through. But by the end of the 2024-2025 season, everything changed. With the team underperforming as a whole and others being tired and injured, Güler finally got some opportunities, and he didn't disappoint. He scored some beautiful goals, created chances for the other players, and brought something different every time he touched the ball. Everyone started to notice, from fans to his teammates to even Ancelotti. I mean, when a player is scoring this type of goal for his country at the Euros, it shouldn't come as a surprise when he replicates that at a club level. What makes Arda so special isn't just that he's phenomenal phenomenal on the ball and has a banging shot. It's also his calmness. Even at such a young age, he plays like someone who's been at the top for years. He sees passes that others miss. He glides past defenders with ease. And of course, as you can see, he's not afraid to take a shot when it matters the most. Even when he wasn't given an opportunity, his self-confidence never wavered. And now with Xabi Alonso coming in, his future looks even brighter. Alonso loves creative midfielders, players that can unlock defenses with a single touch. With Toni Kroos retiring, and Croatian Owen Wilson coming to the end of his career, there's a clear gap in Madrid's midfield, one that Güler is perfectly suited to fill. And Alonso, a man who knows what it means to control a midfield, seems like the perfect coach to guide the young Turk. Then we have Jude Bellingham. Now Bellingham played through pain in the entire 2025 season. He gave everything even while carrying a shoulder injury. At the same time, Ancelotti also stopped using him in his best position as he tried to find a way to get Vinny and Mbappe to shine together. As a result, at times, Bellingham would just shoehorn into the left mid spot, a player sacrificed for Madrid's shiny new toy, the Turtle, Mr. I'm too competitive.
I think sometimes in the life I'm too competitive, you know, it's good to be competitive.
But now with Alonso in charge and Bellingham being healthy, we might finally see the very best version of him. At Leverkusen, Alonso's midfielders had the freedom to push forward, to press high and to control the game. Bellingham can do all that. My guess is that Bellingham would play in the Xhaka/Palacios role, since he can defend and score. In fact, I think as a box-to-box midfielder, we would see the very best version of Bellingham. Because as good as he has been in a more forward role, he's a super well-rounded midfielder. He defends, he attacks, but he can also score and create. He has the power to drive past defenders, the intelligence to make late runs into the box, and he also has the aggression to actually try and win the ball back in duels. Despite being a superstar, he doesn't really have a prima donna attitude. He's actually willing to do the dirty work. If you play him deeper, you can still take advantage of his ability to crash into the box, and at the same time, get him more involved in the play. Because I feel like for Real Madrid as a whole, the more Bellingham touches the ball, the better it is for their attack. Unlike most midfielders, Bellingham doesn't hide. He wants the ball. Whether Madrid are winning or struggling, he wants to be involved. That's why the fans already see him as one of the faces of the club's future, and why he can be Xabi Alonso's greatest asset. Another player who isn't afraid of doing the dirty work is Fede Valverde. Valverde is known for one thing above all else: his energy. He runs non-stop, defends hard, and of course he loves to pop one from distance. In Alonso's system, players like him are gold. It's like finding a girl with a low body count. At Leverkusen, Alonso had players who could fill the gaps when others went forward. Valverde can do that perfectly. He'll likely be one of the most trusted pieces in Alonso's midfield, helping the team stay balanced and dangerous. No matter the manager, Valverde has always been Real Madrid's motor. The kind of player who never stops running, never stops fighting, and never hides when the games get tough. And in a squad full of stars, you need someone like Valverde who is the glue, covering for teammates, doing the dirty work, but also finding time to contribute with both goals and assists. Fans love him not just for his talent, but for his heart. His versatility will also be a huge asset to Alonso, because he can use the Uruguayan at right wing back, at center mid, or even as a winger behind the strikers if needed. Because it doesn't matter where he plays. He will track back, he will make last-ditch tackle, and then when he needs to, he can smash in a long-range shot. Valverde plays every minute like it could be his last, and that intensity is what makes him so special and so essential. At Leverkusen, Alonso's system didn't just rely on flashy attackers. He built his system around midfielders who could think fast and work tirelessly. Players like Palacios and Xhaka weren't always in the headlines, but they made everything tick. Valverde is made for that kind of role. Then you have Brahim Diaz, who in my opinion will be the spark off the bench. Alonso used two creative players behind the striker. One of them can easily be Brahim Diaz. He's quick, slippery, and loves to take on defenders. In games where Madrid need a little bit of magic, Brahim could be the one Alonso turns to. If he plays more consistently, who knows? He could be a starter. But I could easily see Brahim rotating with Güler and coming into games where his dribbling and flair can make the difference. Then we have Tchouaméni, the rock in the middle. At Leverkusen, Alonso loved having a midfielder who could also act like a third center back. Someone who was strong, calm, but also intelligent on the ball. Tchouaméni fits that perfectly. His strengths are all about control. He can break up an attack with a perfectly timed tackle. He can hold his ground in duels. And I've never seen this guy panic under pressure. He's physically strong and he's technically clean. He can easily play as the defensive midfielder who drops deep when the wingbacks go forward, or even as a middle center back in a back three.
Camavinga.
Not wanting to play as a center back, but honestly he's pretty good there. To be honest, it doesn't matter whether he's in a midfield role or in the back three, he'll help keep the team balanced. Because at Leverkusen, Alonso used Robert Andrich in that position. Andrich would sometimes step into the midfield with the ball or drop into defense when the team pushed forward. That's a role that Tchouaméni can easily make his own. That way, when Madrid has the ball, he can help build up the play from deep. But when the team is defending, he can step into the midfield and close down spaces and protect the back line. Like I said, it's a hybrid role. Not quite a center back, not quite a full-time midfielder, but for Tchouaméni, it should be fine, because he's comfortable doing both. This also takes the pressure off the other players. When the wingbacks push high, and players like Bellingham or Valverde want to go forward, Tchouaméni can cover the gaps. Alonso himself played as a deep-line playmaker, so he knows exactly what that role requires. The timing, the patience, the vision. So you can bet that he'll know how to bring out the best in Tchouaméni. Then you have Eduardo Camavinga, a man who's like a Swiss Army knife, because he can do it all. I've seen this guy play as a midfielder, a fullback, even a winger at times. Alonso loves players like that, guys who can fill any role and still play well. Don't be surprised if he becomes Alonso's go-to problem solver. And then of course we have Kylian Mbappe. At Leverkusen, Boniface played as the main striker. Even though he was up front, he was allowed to drift wide, drop deep, and attack open space. Now imagine doing all of that, but now you do it with Mbappe. Everything Boniface could do, Mbappe can do even better. And Alonso's system might be exactly what he needs to hit that next level in Spain. With two creative midfielders behind them, and a wingback like Trent stretching the pitch, Mbappe will have more space to attack than ever before. He's no longer going to be isolated or forced to carry the attack alone. He'll be part of a very fluid, fast-moving front line. He won't have to come deep to get the ball. Madrid's midfield will feed him. He won't have to make something out of nothing. He'll get quality service. Hopefully, Alonso can motivate the Turtle to actually make runs though. Because when Real Madrid counterattacks under Alonso, that's where Mbappe can become terrifying. One pass, one sprint, and he's already celebrating. Because remember, even in his bad first year, he still scored 30 plus goals. Now that he's more settled and hopefully has a system built around him, he can explode. He was Madrid's top goal scorer and second in big chances created. He's an all-timer, so of course he was going to be held to a higher standard. But on paper, he should only get better now, especially since he has gotten a taste of what La Liga football is like. Because while he did dominate Spanish teams in the Champions League, it was always going to take some time to adjust to playing the terrorist low blocks of Getafe and Espanyol on a regular basis. There's also the off-pitch factor. Mbappe is still young, but he's been a leader for years. And when he came to Madrid, there was a massive amount of hype. I mean, this transfer was like the worst open-kept secret for years. So of course, when he finally joined, there was a lot of attention around him. And for Mbappe, this is all about his legacy. And by legacy, I mean trophies. He came to win the Champions League, to win the Ballon d'Or. Alonso knows this. He's been around stars before. He played with the Galacticos. He understands how to manage egos, but also how to challenge the top players to grow. He won't just tell Mbappe to be Mbappe. That was Carlo. He'll give him a role, a system, and a purpose. Under Xabi Alonso, it might be the beginning of the most complete version of Mbappe yet. And then, of course, we have Madrid's new Galactico, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent is not a normal fullback. At Liverpool, he acted more like a midfielder at times, inverting in, spraying long passes, and controlling the tempo from wide areas. And that's exactly what Alonso asks from his wingbacks. At Leverkusen, guys like Frimpong and Grimaldo weren't just stuck on the touchline. They helped run the game. Trent will love this. He'll finally get the freedom to create without worrying about being the last man back. No one's going to care about your defensive qualities in a 3-back. And now instead of having to play passes to Darwin Nunez, he's got Vinny ahead of him, Mbappe, and his boyfriend Jude Bellingham. Now this is a big job for Alonso. For one thing, if he's going to stay with his 3-back system, he's going to need Perez to get him more center backs. In 2025, Madrid were playing midfielders in the back line, and that was in a 4-back formation where they only needed 2 center backs. With Alonso, they can't afford that. They need a bunch of center backs all available so that the Spaniard can rotate and keep everyone fresh. On top of that, at Leverkusen, the expectations were also lower. Less egos on the team, less media attention. Like Leverkusen were not great in the 2025 season, but nobody really talked about them. Because like I said, the expectations weren't that high. But at Madrid, it's a completely different story. Every loss feels like the end of time, and each player on the team gets a ton of media attention individually. But if there's anyone that understands a locker room full of Galacticos, it would be Xabi Alonso. He was signed as a Galactico in 2009, joining Madrid along with Ronaldo, Benzema, and Kaká. He knows what caused them to be bad in the first few seasons, and what it took to get them clicking again. Combine his experience as a player and his experience as a manager, and he has the qualities to be successful. At the same time though, what made Madrid great in the past was the freedom that Ancelotti gave to the players. That's why the 4-4-2 diamond worked so well in 2024, even though they didn't have a proper number 9. Will Alonso give that sort of freedom to the players? He had very specific instructions to his Leverkusen team on where to be, where to go. But maybe with more talent at his disposal, he will provide more freedom. Only time will tell. Alonso could be the next Zidane, but he could also end up being Lopetegui 2.0. One player that Alonso should work very hard to get back to his best is Vinny. Because it's not a coincidence that Madrid are at their best when Vinny is at his best. To see just how good Vinny was, you gotta check out this video right here.
Deco just dropped a huge major breaking news about
stadig mere?
players for Barcelona on an interview. We're going to be talking about Christensen, Ter Stegen. He even talked about Nico Williams. He even talked Araujo. He talked about Chesney and a few other things that are being, mentioned that it's worth talking about and getting my take. So.
Mia, er der stadig? Eller er du gået? Monster. Monster. Monster.
Ja, mig og Ben. Vi laver sådan en sang. Er du med, Ben? Ja. Sådan. Ja. Den er til alle, der elsker Monster. Ja. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. En dag vågner jeg op, og jeg kan ikke forstå, hvor min ven er henne, og hvorfor er jeg ikke blå?
Ja, hvorfor er jeg ikke blå?
Ja. Jeg er den heldigste mand på vores jord, for alle bare tror, at min iPhone er grå.
Det var meget forfærdeligt. Det var meget skuld.
Ja.
Jeg vil.
Jeg vil bare gerne drikke en monster. Jeg vil bare gerne drikke en monster. Jeg vil bare gerne drikke en monster.
Jeg vil bare have et monster. Jeg vil bare have et monster. Jeg vil bare have et monster. Jeg vil bare have et monster. Jeg vil bare have et monster. Jeg vil bare have et monster.
Vi skal lave en booster-sang, har vi snakket om.
Jeg vil bare have
Et monster.
Det eneste jeg gerne vil, bare drikke en monster.
For helvede, jeg glemte at skrive Ben på den. Nå, sådan er det. Eller Ghost Feature.
Jeg vil bare gerne have en monster. 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 Jeg vil meget gerne have en monster. Jeg vil bare gerne have en monster. Jeg vil bare gerne have en monster.
Det er det eneste jeg gerne vil, bare drikke en monster. Jeg vil bare gerne have en monster. Monster. Så nej, men du tager den her.
Jeg vil bare gerne følge en monster. Det eneste jeg gerne vil bare drikke en monster.
Det eneste jeg gerne vil er bare drikke en monster. La 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 la. Monster. La 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 la. Monster.
For jeg vil bare gerne have en monster. For jeg vil bare gerne have en monster. For jeg elsker monster. Jeg vil bare gerne have en monster. For jeg vil bare gerne have en monster. For jeg vil bare gerne have en monster.
Kan I give jer penge, så køber jeg nogle senge, så kan vi bolle længe på alle de senge. Kan I give jer penge, så køber jeg nogle senge, så kan vi bolle længe på alle de senge.
I'm a nigga sculpture in the house, yeah. Don't shiver on me. I don't want to see the same bitch and hoes. Can't relate to us, sweat and my bros. I'm a nigga sculpture in the house, yeah. Don't trip on me. I don't want to see the same bitches and hoes. Can't relate to us, sweat and my bros. I'm a nigga sculpture.
Wile E. Coyote, the fastest and furriestest of the Looney Tunes.
Tomcat, the powerhouse pussycat from Tom and Jerry.
The fans voted for it and we're here to deliver.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. In tales told over shimmering campfire by the tribespeople of North America, there was no figure so cunning, so bold, as Coyote. To the Miwok, he was a Prometheus who stole fire from the heavens to give to humanity. To the Sewetmuk, he was a foolish trickster who could die and return to life.
And to the Brothers Warner, he's just a poor dumb schmuck who can't catch a break.
To this day, the great coyote stalks the American Southwest, hunting his indefatigable prey, the Roadrunner. And this modern Wile E. Coyote is driven by a ruthless entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, and it drove him straight off a cliff. He'll chase that bird-shaped happily ever after to his own inevitable undoing. Such is the lot of the common.
You might not expect it from an anthropomorphic canine Job, but Wiley was born the son of world-famous hunter Cage E. Coyote. His father raised him from infancy to hound his avian adversary, and forbade him to speak until he tasted victory. On the face, an easy task. Coyotes are incredibly adaptable predators, capable of hunting in both rural and urban environments.
They're also speedy little demons. They can sprint at up to 43 miles per hour. Though that's cold comfort when that blue meeping bastard can make beams of light look stone still, or outrun a car that was moving fast enough to travel through time.
Frankly, it's incredible that Wiley manages to consistently keep up with his prey at all. But he does.
No, really, it's actually stated that only a, quote, tiny little extra burst of speed separates the coyote and the Roadrunner. Heck, Bugs Bunny himself needed to take super speed supplements in order to move fast enough to outrun Wiley.
But almost as fast isn't fast enough. Fortunately, Wiley's got an endless assortment of gadgets, gizmos, and reams of blueprints to make up the difference.
He's got your classics like dynamite, anvils, and spring-loaded boxing gloves, along with heavier artillery like heat-seeking missiles, a 10 billion volt electromagnet, and a friggin' trebuchet, a Reddit favorite.
Many of which he invented himself and uses in excruciatingly detailed schemes that inevitably go awry. Despite being a self-described super genius, Wiley has an officially measured IQ of 3.
That's the same IQ as a cactus.
Okay, the test results were fake, but he's still an idiot.
So why not let a soulless corporation do the hard work for him?
Acme sells any product that you can imagine, and Wiley is their most devoted customer, contributing up to 99% of its multi-billion-dollar revenue.
Thanks for the inherited wealth, Pops. Oh, don't worry, I'm spending it all in one place.
He's got an Acme Book of Magic, Acme Clone-O-Matic, Acme Death Ray, Acme City in a Box, Acme Universal Remote, which can pause, fast forward, and rewind a person through time.
Too bad half the stuff Wiley uses is intentionally sabotaged, because Acme's board of directors is exclusively Roadrunners. My man cannot catch a break, but he sure can take some punishment.
No matter the severity of his failures, Wiley is still attuned and can bounce back from just about anything.
He's been sliced, stabbed, squashed, exploded, melted, blasted into a constellation, and overall verbed for the last 87 years straight, without ever actually dying. He once got fully disintegrated into ash and popped back up like it was nothing.
Similar to the immortal coyote of Sewetmuk legend.
He's also shattered the fourth wall tons of times and even left the comic page entirely to catch the Roadrunner. Ah, so close.
Believe it or not, there is actually a biological reason for these abilities. Loony DNA. Every Every toon's got it, not just the loony ones. And it's what lets them survive fatal damage up to being fully erased off the page, essentially dictating their personal slice of reality to whatever is funny.
Like how gravity only affects the coyote when he looks down.
Toons are immune to the laws of physics as we know them.
That's why Wiley developed a counter to this immortality, the Looney DNA Dissolver, which leaves toons vulnerable to fatal wounds the same way we are. Yet again, so close. You can't say he hasn't tried everything.
It was Wiley's experience as a veteran toon that landed him a job at Acme University as department chair of the School of Hard Knocks, teaching up-and-coming tiny toons how to use their abilities.
Okay, so Naruto.
And just like Naruto's jutsus, Toon Force works like an actual power system, with more experienced toons like Wiley who are more powerful than their younger counterparts.
And that means Wiley should be capable of replicating feats and abilities performed by any other Looney Tune, like traveling between different mediums or altering the plot of the cartoon he's in.
And my favorite was the time Plucky Duck used Marvin the Martian's matter transmogrifier to suck up the entire universe.
And then suck up the animator animating his universe.
And then suck up the animator's universe for good measure.
Wiley's got a cushy 10-year job teaching that stuff. Impressive for an abject failure at his life mission. He's helped stop a meteor from destroying Earth, beat the Monstars in basketball, and even, oh snap, caught the Roadrunner! Oh wait, never mind, so damn close!
According to 1977's Tweety and Sylvester issue 67, Wile E. Coyote has attempted to catch the Roadrunner 4,766,842 times. Scaling to the present, that's over 10 million failures.
That takes dedication, or maybe self-destructive stubbornness, too blinded by bird lust to see the forest for the trees.
But Acme's intentional malfunctions and Coyote's recklessness don't account for all of his catastrophes. There's something else, something grander, otherworldly, standing in the way of our furry friend's salvation.
There's no other way to say it. God is just plain out to get this guy.
And by God, we mean the closest thing that exists for Coyote and Roadrunner. Chuck Jones.
The guy that created them and helped forge the Looney Tunes into how we know.
Jamen, hej Olivia.
Originally
Hej Olivia, velkommen til.
meant to be a parody of earlier chase cartoons like, well, Tom and Jerry, Jones established several rules for their animated shorts that superseded Coyote's reality.
Olivia, hør her. Olivia, hvis du er kommet for at skille mig ud af det eller andet over. For jeg kunne se, at jeg har unblokket dig, ikke? Det ved jeg. Jeg kan ikke huske, hvorfor jeg blokkede dig. Men hvis du kommer for at skille mig ud over et eller andet, ikke? Så jeg magter ikke i dag. Jeg er ikke i godt humør. Honestly, jeg har ikke haft det godt for tiden, ikke? Jeg prøver at få det bedre. Jeg streamer egentlig kun for Mia. Men det hedder altså. Jeg har været trist de sidste par dage. Så det var noget, jeg magter ikke en skideball, hvis det er.
Warping tune abilities.
Rules that cover his obsession, faulty products, and the fact that no outside force, not even the Roadrunner, is to blame for his...
Mia er min største fan. Den har vi taget. Mia er min største fan. Hun ser med hver dag. Så shout out til Mia. Hun ser også med nu.
Defeat, just him.
While other creatives have altered this formula in the decades since Jones's departure, these rules have effectively made the Coyote's defeats cosmically ordained.
God nerfed Wile E. Coyote. In all our years making Death Battle, we've
Okay,
never seen a handicap like that.
But what else can you expect?
I don't know.
Fanatical
Altså,
furry-
det siger du. I haven't improved, men det kunne det vel være. Men ja, fair nok, Olivia. Hvis du gør det, så tak for støtten. Tak for støtten, unge dame.
Failson. He's the Sultan of Slapstick, the CEO of Second Place, the swing and a miss superstar. As long as he picks himself back up and dusts off the ashes, that'll never be all, folks, for Wile E. Coyote. The year was 1939. War raged in Europe between the British Tommies and the German Jerrys. As the beleaguered English made their miraculous escape from the German encirclement off the coast of Dunkirk, one...
Skal jeg lige gøre det så? Shout out til Olivia. Skal vi lige... Skal vi give hende... Skal vi se hende? Laver du videoer, hvis det er, så kan vi godt kigge. Lige hurtigt. Altså, nu spørger du pænt, så det er fint, det kan jeg vel godt. Lad mig lige finde din kanal. Give me a second. Lad mig lige finde din kanal. Skal vi kigge? Ja, vi kigger. Om der er noget. Subscribe til Olivia. Lige her. Hvornår lavede du kanalen, hvis jeg må spørge? I år. Fair nok. I don't judge. Subscribe til Olivia. Hun har shorts. Værsgo. Nå, nu sender videoen videre.
One might have called the battle a game of cat and mouse.
Oh, wow, is that actually where their names come from? I'm looking this up.
Regardless of their names' origin, William Hanna and Joseph Barbera's infamous cat and mouse duo became the undisputed kings of slapstick comedy.
The formula is simple, and we all know it. Tomcat chases Jerry Mouse around the house. Brutal, bone-shaking, balls, violence ensues, and Tom is reprimanded by Mammy Two Shoes.
Who is, let's say, very much from the 1940s.
And if you're like me, all you wanted to see was Tom wipe that smug smirk off that little rat's face. Despite my well-documented hatred of cats, even I've got to cringe at years of propaganda to convince us to side with the filthy, flea-ridden rodent over man's second best friend. Oh, big yawn.
House cats like Tom are actually some of Earth's most successful predators. They can run up to 30 miles per hour, leap 6 feet high, and despite being actually crepuscular and hunt in the dawn and evening.
Tom specifically is a British shorthair. They're strong, stocky Roman cats bred to withstand harsh conditions.
Jeg tror, jeg har set hende på TikTok, men jeg ved ikke, hvem det er. Honestly. Hun ser flink ud.
Sure, most of it is the stuff you can find around the average American household, like baseball bats, lead pipes, and
you get what I mean?
Hun ser flink ud, det vil jeg sige. Wackier things like a magic wand, a robo-cat, vanishing cream, and a smart cap that gives him all the knowledge in the world.
I'm partial to the sword of light and dark, which severs you from your own
ser vi det her?
or the
Fordi jeg vil.
which can move your
Det er det mainstream.
And you can't forget the cat car and cat.
Jeg skal se, hvem der skal vinde det der.
Of course, but just the cat part.
His arsenal is heavily improvisational, which fits his quick thinking in fights over Thanksgiving turkey. Though he often loses his bouts with Jerry.
Jeg bor i Slagelse, hvis du vil vide det. Sjælland, bro.
Outplayed.
And even in defeat, he's one tough son of a gun. He's been crushed, blown up, had every bone in his body broken, shattered, melted, and vaporized to dust. And survived.
Jeg er autist, hvis du vil vide det. Jeg har autisme. Min mors kæreste.
Nej, det kan jeg ikke. Hun har lige skrevet, hun kommer frem til min ikke meget klar. Ja, klart. Så vi kører bare med det samme. Det regner meget, jeg skulle på. Ja, det så jeg i går nok, ja. Også i dag, det regner lige rigtig meget. Ja. Jeg var på vej hjem, men det regner ikke så meget, selvom du siger, det dryppede bare lidt, ikke? Ja. På vej til normal. Men så på vej hjem, ikke? Regner det bare meget. Ja, det gør det. Det er sommerregn, det regner også lidt tyk, ikke? Ja. Det er meget tungt. Det er det. Men det regner ikke i kort tid. 15-20 dage, det regner meget tykt, ikke? Ja, om efteråret så regner det bare helt væk. Ja. Men det er dejligt, det er blevet lidt frisk vejr nu, ikke? Ja, men jeg tror også, det gør med noget regn der. Det kommer lige ud. Det er godt for info, ja.
Det er min mors kæreste.
Hey, well, mostly. Tom actually has kicked the bucket multiple times, but little known cat fact, he has 9 lives, as established in the episode Heavenly Puss.
Og hvis du spørger, om jeg har en, nej, fam, I'm not searching. Siger mig ikke så meget.
This was conducting some different kind of research when he stumbled on that episode.
Very funny. Even if Tom starts to use his lives up, he has a potion that just restores them.
Or he can physically go get them back from hell. Where all cats go.
extremely hardcore cartoon, but there isn't much of a limit to what Tom can do. He can clone himself, levitate in the air, make his imagination real, and even break the fourth wall and enter the real world.
Yeah, if you only watch the classic cartoons from the 40s, you may be in for a shock. Tom and Jerry gets buck wild, much like the actual inspirations for their names. Thank you, Google.
Oh, you're still on this?
Dodoy Whiz. They were actually named after the two characters in Pierce Egan's Delightful Life in London, Jerry Hawthorne and Corinthian Tom. It was adapted to the stage with the title Tom and Jerry, which later became a catch-all term in 1800s England for young, drunken rabble-rousers.
One could, in fact, say that many rabbles were roused the times Tom destroyed a planet-busting asteroid, lifted up the sun, and was blown up into a constellation. And he was just fine. Just a bunch of stars now, but he's okay.
He taped an explosion that launched him through time to the Stone Age and has run through space at massively faster than light speeds.
That shouldn't be a surprise when he and Jerry have been at each other's throats for over 80 years now. But what may surprise you is the fact that at the end of the day, they're actually friends.
And they've worked together tons of times to save the day. Like when
My
they
lovely
helped
mother.
a little orphan girl, Robin Starling, find her way home. Oh, that's a nice end to their story.
Don't you believe it? Now is when we have to talk about Tom and Jerry Chase. Long ago, the warrior god, Lord of Sichuan, Erlong Shen, battled the tricksy and indomitable Mouse King atop Peach Mountain, leading the goddess Celeste to declare the two the strongest warriors in the realm. And they were, in fact, Tom and Jerry. They were even stronger than Devil Tom, who repelled corruption by the darkness. This mysterious, malevolent force threatened to consume the Tree of Life, whose branches encompass all of time and space. Banding together, these warriors used the star element to dispel the darkness and save the universe.
What the fuck?
While it may sound completely insane, it is. Chase is a Chinese mobile gacha game whose lore is not entirely in keeping with the spirit of the source material. However, it is officially licensed by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, which means
Hvor kan jeg få det spil?
included in our research.
Hvor kan jeg få det spil?
Gods may grant us mere mortals some heavenly punch.
No.
Friendly rivalry aside, though, Tom has actually managed to catch the little rat fair and square a few times.
By my count of the original shorts, 19 times.
I could watch him on repeat forever. Too bad he's still a filthy swine. The only kitty I truly respect is named after booze.
Well then, you're in luck, because the Tom and Jerry of English literature later became the namesake for a famous Christmas cocktail.
Because there's no better way to get absolutely trashed than with good old Tom and Jerry.
It's the Tom and Jerry.
Guess what? Death Battle has merch now.
That's right, Boomstick, and you can pick some up for yourself on our brand new website, deathbattle.gg.
Just click the merch tab at the top. We've got mugs, stickers, shirts, and more.
I'm partial to the official researcher's notebook. I promise it's not a death note. See, it says so right on the cover.
Sure. There's also exclusive merch for website members, like my beer cooler, which keeps my beer nice and cold. And I guess, theoretically, other beverages too.
Then there's the limited time Game Over tee, which won't be available much longer, so if you want it, go grab it quick.
We'll be releasing more stuff throughout the year, so check back for updates. Picking up an item or two really helps support independent Death Battle, so we want to say a big thank you to everybody that's already placed an order.
Head over to deathbattle.gg and pick the piece of Death Battle swag that's right for you.
Right for you.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a Death Battle!
Vi ses, mor. Nu bliver det spændende. Tom!
Come on, you apes! You wanna live forever!
Vi går i YouTube-videoen. Jeg tror, det er bare lidt mere med Tom. Eller bare lidt mere med Tom. Lidt! Kun lidt! Der døde Tom. Måske tabte han. Men Tom er stærkest, jeg siger det bare.
Wile E. Coyote. Super genius.
Oh,
thank God one of them actually died this time. I mean, no! Animal cruelty, no!
Considering coyotes eat cats, I'm not surprised.
While both Cat and Coyote were incredibly powerful, they weren't literal gods who could snap their problems away. They had limitations and weaknesses that could be exploited, especially by each other. Let's first talk their stats.
Both were strong enough to contend with universe-threatening phenomena, but comparing Wile E to Plucky Duck, Looney Tunes can not only destroy their own universe, but their animators as well.
And while Tom could move faster than light, Wile E could keep up with the Roadrunner, who could outspeed a car fast enough to travel through time. That's immeasurably fast, and much faster than Tom. Wile E gets the edge in stats.
Wile E's arsenal was a bit better too, believe it or not. Even eliminating the devices that have been shown to malfunction, he still countered everything Tom had.
The biggest being the Looney DNA Dissolver, which could render Tom's cartoony healing factor moot and end the fight.
While Tom has never been shown to have Looney DNA specifically, the concept clearly has nothing to do with actual DNA molecules.
Looney Tunes have been erased completely and still returned, so it's clearly something more fundamental to their essence.
And since the Dissolver works on any tunes, not just the Looney ones, it should apply to Tom. But considering how much of a screw-up Wile E is, it wasn't a sure bet. Hell, it could have backfired, especially considering how much more competent Tom is.
When it came to intelligence, Wile E's engineering and scheming genius were often defeated by his own ego and stubbornness. Tom, on the other hand, was consistently more flexible, pragmatic, and victorious in his fights. He definitely gets the edge there.
Oh, and Tom has one other big advantage. He doesn't have God nerfing him.
And that's the big question. Was Tom capable enough to benefit from Wile E's narrative-enforced bad luck and see the DNA Dissolver backfire against him?
That bad luck is a core part of Wile E's character as a cartoon. So let's call it his, toonliness.
To find the answer, we dug deep through the bowels of Looney Tunes lore and ended up in an unexpected place. Space Jam.
Where Wile E yet again fails against the Roadrunner, but against the villains of the movie, the Monstars, he actually scores.
And scores again in the sequel, more than anyone else. But according to Chuck Jones's rules, that shouldn't happen, right?
Throughout his entire history, Wily's cosmically ordained failures only occur when he's specifically chasing the Roadrunner.
No.
Other tunes the plot bends around like bugs, because that's what Chuck Jones's rules were written for.
No.
Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons.
And even then, looking closely, they've been broken a few times throughout the decades, even during Chuck Jones's tenure.
Without the universe nerfing him, there's no reason to think Wily couldn't eventually land a hit with the Looney DNA dissolver.
Especially when the only reason it failed was because of the Roadrunner's intervention. A direct violation of Chuck Jones's limitations on the Coyote.
And especially when it's the only thing that either one had that could kill the other.
Despite lacking Wily's narrative impediments, and despite having a better track record overall, Tom ultimately had no surefire way to kill Wily, whereas Wily's superior strength, speed, and looting arsenal ensured his victory.
Wily gave one hell of a chase and left Tom Jones in for a rematch.
The winner is Wily.
Rematch! I want a rematch!
Next time on Death Battle.
I want a rematch! Det ser vi det ellers her. Der var nogle gode nogle.
Our tale begins atop a great mountain where the mighty Heracles sought a gift from the gods.
Oh there! I'm in need of that apple. Relinquish it.
Sorry, I'm supposed to find my master some vegetarian food.
You'll find it elsewhere.
But Heracles was not so easily fooled. The Monkey King's strike rang true, but he'd not so easily overwhelm the god of strength.
I am Heracles!
The Monkey King fell into a strange forest, in awe at such a wondrous fight. But should he mistake his fear, he might lose his head.
Woo! I haven't had such fun since I fought all of heaven. Change! Behold me, the immortal Monkey King!
Multiple heads. Of course.
Monkey King. Monkey King. This for that.
You've had your fun, beast, but I've had enough!
In heavens above, the gods witnessed their earthbound selves, and so joined in battle. The god of strength mustered the heart of Olympus, while the great sage harnessed power equal to heaven. Thus, the Monkey King emerged victorious.
Wow, would you look at that? I struck him so hard he was reduced to nothingness.
With a formidable foe slain, stricken against the mountain's breast, so ends our great tale of East and West. KO!
KO. Hvem var det, der vandt?
Stricken.
Wow.
Ja, her var det så godt ud det.
Wow, would you look at that? I struck him so hard he was reduced to nothingness.
With a formidable foe slain, stricken against the mountain's breast, so ends our great tale of East and